Hola, buenas tardes todos. Hoy estamos en San Antonio, en la Villita, y vamos al Riverwalk.
Steve Wilder said he used to go to the airport.
Como se ve ahí está el hotel en West End, al ladito del Riverwalk.
Now, the building itself was built in 1929. It was built by two brothers, the Smith brothers, who apparently were very superstitious. And they didn't want to see any bad luck come to their brand new building in 1929. So as they were building it, they installed the gargoyles and the grotesque faces on the building in order to keep bad luck away from their pride and joy. Well, the brothers thought that was a pretty good plan. Back in those events, it didn't work so well. They actually lost their building in the Great Depression. Coming up here in front of us, this is a latte. We actually come into the viewpoint there.
Street Plaza Hotel. They basically look at the city with the sidewalk like a lot of it. It's much easier to get around down there. It's pretty much hard on most of the sidewalks, like a little circle. And we can back to where we started. There's a beautiful church here on the left of San Fernando. You look up these steps, here at the plaza, through the windows. You have San Fernando Cathedral. You know, out of the evening, there'll be a little light show projecting onto the facade of the church. Food trucks, musicians, that area.
But it should have been.
Yeah, I almost brought it. Because I'm having some issues with it, so right on the front camera, so then I'll dismantle it. And then, yeah.
My name is Michael. I'll be your captain. I'll be the guy pointing at stuff, telling y'all the history of the Riverwalk. How's everybody doing this afternoon?
Great.
Great.
All right. Yeah, a little hot, man, right? Not too bad. Back here, don't worry. I'll drop you back off in about 25, 30 minutes. Shouldn't be too bad of a trip. Before I get started, though, I do got some safety tips. Nothing crazy, just some minor rules. First and foremost, for those of y'all leaning y'all's arms along the wooded railing, please be cautious of your surroundings. At some points, I might come close to a wall, bush, you got life jacket. Give me right for rolls. Come on. Yeah. Right through there, you'll be able to pass a series of staircases, gardens, and waterfalls. Once you get to the top of those steps, you're going to be right in front of the Alamo. Nice, quick little shortcut. So, of course, being born here in San Antonio, that's the first thing they taught me in pre-K. Always remember the Alamo. They also told me not to talk to strangers, because you can see what I do for a living now. In an age to well, that's alright. And here on the right side, the Casino Club building. I do apologize, the name is misleading, it's not a casino. No, nor is it a club. So this was actually brought to us by a merger of two local societies out here in the city of San Antonio. Their names combined gave us the name the San Antonio Casino Club, which they brandish on the building, of course. It was a popular German social club back in the day, but now home to a bunch of rental and housing space for people. And this section, this is my favorite part out here. This is River Square. So each of these restaurants here on my right and left hand side, each of them do offer indoor and outdoor dining. So if y'all don't want to sit out here by the river, more than welcome to ask for a chair on the inside. So there's an abundance of foods and flavors to pick from. I'm gonna go ahead and list off some of the foods just to give you guys a general idea. First and foremost, we're gonna have Mexican, American, Mexican, Italian, Mexican, barbecue, Mexican, seafood, Mexican, German, Mexican, Irish, Mexican, and of course, Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex. Because we are here in San Antonio, baby, this is where the Tex meets the Mex. A bunch of good foods and flavors. Also do want to mention, if you guys are a big fan of cocktails hanging out in this area, each restaurant does have its own signature cocktail. Being honest, a good majority are just margaritas, but you can't go wrong with one of those, man. They're delicious. If you like your drink a bit more stronger, have a conversation with your bartender, enjoy the Alamo. After that, they'll throw you shots back and forth just like the can at the Santa Ana, man. Really good times out here. And over here on the right, this is Casa Rio. Main reason I'm going to be singling out this restaurant compared to the rest of them behind us is because Casa Rio is actually going to be the first restaurant and first business to open up on this Riverwalk. Opened up back in 1946 and it's still going to be owned and operated by the original family that brought it up back in the day as well. Going on 77 years of counting. Alright, so right now I just made a left turn. We actually just left the natural flow of the river and entered this man-made portion. So this is known as the man-made extension. Before I get into details about this spot, I do want to ask, by any chance anybody is celebrating anything this weekend that brought them into town? Any celebration? You have a birthday. Hey, happy birthday. Hey, round of applause, guys. Round of applause. Happy birthday. I also do want to ask any first timers visiting San Antonio? Any of us out here? Cool. Oh, a good majority of y'all. Awesome, man. I don't know if I'm making stuff up as I go along the way. I'm kidding. Alright, so yeah, this section, the man-made, constructed for the Hemisphere of 1960s. So the Hemisphere, think of it as like a World's Fair. We had a bunch of countries from all over the world that came over here, visited the city, also brought stuff of their own to display at the event. So it was a big deal for San Antonians, of course. We really wanted to go all out. The main reason is because we expected about 7 million people in total. And that event pretty much put us on the map. Of course, we want to do something crazy. So one thing that we did was actually this section that we are now in. Originally, everything around us was equal to street level, but we ended up digging it up just so we could connect it to the Riverwalk, simply for having a taxi service out on these waters during the hemisphere. Yeah, a little crazy. It was also complimentary to our guests just so they go back and enjoy the festivities. Another thing that they installed out here is actually coming up on the right side of the boat in between the tree line. Over there in the distance on the right hand side, that is the Tower of the Americas right over there. So the Tower of the Americas, that's actually the main attraction back in 1968. Reason for that is because when that first opened, that was actually the tallest freestanding tower here in the country, standing at about 750 feet tall. Also held the record for about 28 years as well. So, up inside the tower, we're gonna have a restaurant, a bar, and an observation deck. A cool little thing, that restaurant actually rotates about once every hour, just to give you a full 360 view of the city of San Antonio. And right in front of us, we're gonna have this beautiful statue right here. This statue actually unveiled last year for a public art garden we have in this section of the river. This is known as Stargazer, or just call her by her first name, Citlali. So Citlali's sitting at 16 feet tall, made out of volcanic rock, and the star in her hand is actually made out of marble, which is a beautiful contrast to this art piece right here. So this was built by the well-renowned Mexican artist Pedro Reyes.
This tall statue on the right side, this is the likeness.
Alright, so now we are going to get a nice little change of atmosphere as I pass by this big old bridge. In the meantime, here on the right side, it's going to be the second loading dock of the day. This right here is going to be our River Center location. So this is the busiest dock out of all three. Right now, it may not look like it, I know. But believe me when I tell you that during our holiday season, for example, Christmas, we wait out here about over an hour to get on a boat ride. Yeah. Some of y'all might have noticed we still have the Christmas lights on the trees. We're just lazy, you know? I'm kidding. We actually had an event 2 weeks back, and we turned them on for that event, which is pretty nice. But now they won't come on up until day after Thanksgiving. But we actually installed new fog lamps on the trunks of the trees. So those lights will actually be on year-round. So you will be able to see it walking around this evening. Alright, let's go ahead and do a little loop around right here. We are now inside the shops at River Center. So this is the mall here in the downtown area. Third largest mall in all of San Antonio. Inside here, over 100 stores in total. 2 movie theaters, an AMC and an IMAX, a Dave & Buster's, a Legoland Discovery Center, and an aquarium as well. If you guys itineraries open up, stop by, check out all the cool stuff we have to offer. I do want to warn y'all, you do need a kid to get inside Legoland, by the way. So if you need one, I have a nephew I can rent out to y'all for $50. You just need them for the entrance, that's it. They don't really monitor them after that. I also do want to mention, we are going to have a good amount of restaurants located inside this part of the river. These are more like your big chain restaurants though, like your big company ones. So for example, out here we're going to have a Margaritaville, a Yard House, Fogo de Chao, a Land Shark. We also have a Big Boy Daycare. Some of y'all might know that one as a Hooters. They're all good food though, can't go wrong with any of it, all good stuff. We also have a Sugar Factory, an American restaurant. Haven't had it, so I couldn't tell you if it's good or not. I saw the prices on the menu though, so I hope it's good, man. And if any of these restaurants will pique your interest, you're more than welcome to help yourself to some of the duck we have out here. Tortilla chip diet, free range, from river to table. Just think about it. Alright, so as I come across this bridge on the right side of the boat, we're going to have the man of the hour. That is going to be San Antonio. The official name, San Antonio de Padua. So this statue here on the right side, this is actually going to be a gift from Portugal during the 1968 hemisphere. So Portugal was going to be one of the countries that we personally invited out here. To show their gratitude, they brought that statue along with them. So, San Antonio, that's the person the river and the city is named after. Right before we actually adopted the name though, the San Antonio River, these waters, they were going to be known as Yanaguana, which translates to place of peaceful waters. As you can take a look at the river, it's not crazy, it ain't violent or anything like that, you know, not like a whitewater rapid ride. Just gonna be a nice calm flowing river. Although we do share some similarities with the whitewater rapids, just by the amount of people that fall in here every now and then. Yeah, so we average about like 5 a week. But like I said though, it's not that deep. You fall in here, walk right out, shake it off. The rash you develop usually wears off about a couple months, but you're good after that one. No, I'm playing. So at this time here on the right side of the boat, right up on street level, we're gonna have this church top right up there. That is gonna be known as St. Joseph's Catholic Church. So St. Joseph's was actually built by a thriving German community here in the area in 1868. The reason they built the church is because they wanted their own place of worship in their native language. That's why they constructed it. Still operational to this day, of course. A unique thing about them, a weekend out of every month, they actually still have an all-German choir perform to them during Mass, known as the Leaders' Choir. So if by any chance anybody on my boat is yearning for a German sermon, that's your place to be up in a Sunday morning, guys. Yeah. That joke never does me. I like it. Alright, let's go back under this bridge right here. We're going to be making a left turn this time, leaving the man-made back into the natural flow. For those that don't know, this river is a natural flowing one. These waters come from a spring a little bit up north of one of our universities, flow south of us about 200 miles, eventually connecting with the Guadalupe and feeding into the Gulf of Mexico. So this river has always been here. We just built around it ourselves, added some portions here and there, of course. So this whole little loop around that I'm taking you along, it's about a mile to a mile and a half on the Riverwalk. But the whole Riverwalk itself extends to about 15 miles. So there's still a lot more for y'all to check out and explore. At this time, take a look right behind us, y'all. On the left side, we're gonna have this enchilada red sculpture right over there. That is the Torch of Friendship. That was gonna be a gift from Mexico in 2002. Each beam pretty much represents Texas and Mexico, just to show the closest relationship we have with one another. It's gonna be a nice little beautiful symbol of life. And over here on the right, this right here, this is gonna be our last location of the day, our Historia location. So right across this dock, on the right side, we're gonna have this hotel, the Hilton Palacio del Rio, the palace on the Riverwalk. So this hotel was constructed for the Hemisphere of 1968. So during that event, we expected, like I said, 7 million people, so we needed some hotels built. This was one of them. So this one used modular construction. What that is, pretty much to set up a foundation of 3 stories tall, starting from the river all the way to street level. After that, those 4 blocks you'll see up there, those are independent rooms. Each of those rooms were built 7 miles south of here at a factory, fully furnished as well, and brought over here on cargo trucks, which then a crane would actually pick them up and stack them right on top of each other, kind of like Legos. Using this method, they were able to complete it in record time, only taking 202 working days. Yeah. Also made the Guinness Book of World Records as well, one of the fastest hotels constructed for its size. And then now, this right here is La Villita, the little village, the oldest neighborhood here in San Antonio. First settled by Spanish soldiers in 1722. Then in the mid-1800s, French and German immigrants moved in here. They're the ones who constructed all the cute houses found up on street level. Personally, I recommend y'all visit La Villita on y'all's own time, just because the view from the river doesn't really do this place enough justice. And inside La Villita, we're gonna have this section right here, the Edwin Arneson River Theater, an open-air amphitheater. Might be familiar to some of y'all if y'all watched the movie Miss Congeniality starring Sandra Bullock. This is where they shot the introduction scene of the beauty pageant right here. We're actually gonna have a show later on today, guys, at 8:30. Fiesta Noche del Rio. We always host this shows every summer, so this one is kicking off today, 8:30, and there's also going to be another one tomorrow, Saturday night as well. Alright, let's get out of here. Over here on the right side, we're going to have the Briscoe Western Art Museum. We're also going to have some beautiful waterfalls as well. Just don't go chasing them. The Briscoe, originally the San Antonio Public Library back in the 1930s, all the way up until the 60s, which then it got transformed into a circus museum / library. But now it's going to be home to the Briscoe. As the name tells, y'all going to be able to find a bunch of cool stuff from the West here, artworks, artifacts, you name it. So some of the highlights found inside this building is actually going to be an interactive diorama of the Battle of the Alamo, Santa Anna's ceremonial sword, and Pancho Villa's last known saddle as well. So at this time, just please remain in y'all's seats. This is the lowest bridge out here on the river. Don't worry y'all's heads though, you're in good hands. I've done this multiple times already. But hey, it's the first for something. Alright, let's go ahead and continue on. So next on the list, I actually got something nice and romantic coming up. Over here on the right side of the boat, right here where I have this metal plaque, Egyptian geese hanging out right there. So this is going to be known as Marriage Island, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Marriage Island. So this island is naturally shaped, of course, made completely from this tree's root systems right here. This is a bald cypress tree. So, the unique thing about it, it's actually in the shape of a heart. Not the best of hearts, but close to the resemblance, of course, yeah. Rough sketch. So, the way it got the name Marriage Island, pretty much we're going to host around 300 wedding ceremonies that take place there every year. So that's how we got the name Marriage Island. Coming up on the right side of the boat, we're passing by Divorce Island. No, I'm kidding. It's actually going to be known as Old Mills Crossing. So in the mid to late 1800s, these waters right below us, they were a bit more shallower. So this was the perfect area, for example. People with coaches or buggies just to cross over to the other side. There was also going to be a mill here. People would bring stuff like corn, chop it up, turn it into grain. One person that y'all may know that actually frequently crossed this river back in the day was actually Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders, guys. Yeah. But before they went up to Cuba. And directly in front of the boat, just beyond the bridge, we're going to have that red brick building straight ahead. That's the Bexar County Courthouse. Opened up 1897, making one of the oldest operating courthouses here in Texas. So the red color on the outside, that's because it's made out of sandstone. And on the interior, you're also going to be able to find some Texas granite as well, along with 15 courtrooms. I myself have only seen 3, so I can't really vouch for how the other ones are. But pretty fascinating building, if you ask me. And over here, on the left side, the Tower Life building. One of the buildings that lights up our skyline at night. So I do want to show you this feature right in between the first and second floors, right at the corner of the windows. So those faces right there, those are going to be known as grotesques. They're going to be found all along the perimeter of the building. So the original owners, Mr. Smith and Mr. Young, they were a bit superstitious. So they were afraid that this building wasn't going to do too good when it first opened up on the market in 19. During the construction process, they asked the workers to install those faces all along the perimeter. Also going with neo-Gothic architecture for the styling of the building as well. And go ahead and take one all the way up to the top. You'll be able to see those gargoyles poking out of the edges. Right up there. So the purpose for all these features was to pretty much ward off evil and bad business. So get this, they paid $3 million for that building back then. Yeah, $3 million, a lot of money. Even back then, man, a lot more money. So when they first opened up, June of 1929, business was booming. However, that same year, that's when the stock market crashed. They were forced into bankruptcy. Like I said, they paid $3 million for it. But when they tried to sell it to make a profit, they were only given $300,000 in return. Yeah. Yeah, I lost out a lot of money on that building, man. Alright, so right now let's go ahead and make this right turn. We're actually leaving another natural part of the river and entering this man-made section right here. This is known as the flood channel. This is the deepest part of the Riverwalk. Right now we are floating at about 250 feet of water. The reason this area is this deep is because I made it up. Yeah, it's actually 15 to 20 feet. Yeah, nothing too crazy, nothing too crazy. So before I get into details about this spot, let me show you guys another section. So right behind us, as I get further away, you'll be able to see that chain link fence up at the top. That is the Lovelock Bridge that we have here in the city of San Antonio. Similar to the Lovelocks found over there in Paris, France. Same concept, of course. So what you do is you take a lock, write your name on it, chain it up on that fence. After that, the both of y'all throw the keys into the river, symbolizing y'all's everlasting love for one another. Real cute thing out here in the city. Personally, I have 3 locks up there. The only advice on that one, use the combination lock, man. Yeah, nothing wrong with some insurance. I just like to play it safe out here. So we're still inside the flood channel. Still gonna extend to about maybe 100 more feet in front of us. The reason this area is this deep is because they use this for rains out here. It can rain pretty hard, causing floods out on this river. So in order to prevent that from happening, the city of San Antonio teamed up with the Army Corps of Engineers, and they successfully installed this canal back in 1924, along with the floodgates. So over here on the right side, so this green bridge right here, that's gonna be one of our floodgates over there. So this one closes straight down, kind of like a guillotine, just to prevent the rushing waters that are coming from the north and pass them south to here without any major damage to the downtown area. And right next to it, we're gonna have this tree straight ahead. So this is gonna be the Ben Milam tree, the oldest tree out here on the Riverwalk. So the way it got the name Ben Milam, legend has it during the Battle of Bejar in 1835. A Mexican sniper under the command of Martin Perfecto de Cos was perched up along the street during the battle. He ended up shooting Ben Milam, who was in a plaza nearby during that attack. So that's how this tree got the name, the Ben Milam tree. Yeah, it usually gets quiet after I say that story. It's alright. They won the battle, if y'all like that one. So let's head right back into the natural flow, back to the regular 3 to 5 feet deep of the river. As you can take a look around, there's a lot of construction going on here in the city. We are introducing a bunch more buildings here in the near future, from apartments to offices, you know. Yeah, so right now we're sitting at the 7th largest in all of the United States, about 1.5 million people. Yeah, we're getting a lot of people from all over the country, of course. For example, we got some people coming in from California, moving in here residentially. We got some businesses opening up over here, also from California, of course. Yes. Yeah. They mostly reside there. Yeah. And here on the right, the Esquire Tavern. So the Esquire, this is actually going to be the oldest bar out here on the Riverwalk. Opened up back in 1933, minutes after Prohibition ended. Yeah, you heard that right. Right before it was an official bar, it was actually a speakeasy disguised as a barbershop. So they were able to open up at such a fast pace.
Nice.
Beautiful interior, so I do recommend stopping by if you can. Also going to feature a 100-foot long wood top bar, the longest in all of Texas. I also like to host my AA meetings in there every now and then, just because the staff is lovely. Never tell me no. So we are going to be right back where everyone started, y'all. Thank y'all very much. I'll leave you guys on this note. So one last thing to talk about. Straight ahead, that footbridge over there, so that is going to be dedicated to Robert H.A. Chugman, the visionary of the Riverwalk. Without him, everything around us wouldn't have been possible. But when the movie Selena came out, 1997, starring Jennifer Lopez, that bridge boomed in popularity. So the movie Selena pretty much depicted the life of the late Tejano singer Selena Quintanilla. And during the filming, they actually came across that bridge right there. Because of that scene, this ended up becoming a popular destination with the couples. By that I mean, this is now a popular proposal site for people. Yeah, working out here 5 years, I've seen about 6 or 7 on this bridge alone. They've all been yeses, by the way, in case you're wondering about that part. So yeah, been good. All right, y'all, so we are going to be right back where we once started. Thank y'all very much for...
So aquí estamos, que dice Crockett Street. Vamos caminando para atrás en el Riverwalk. El día está bien padre, pero está un poquito caliente.
¿Cuánto me gustó?
Hey, couple of rules before we get started. Let's make sure we keep our hands, feet, knees, toes, elbows inside the boat at all times. Please remain seated throughout the tour. If you stand up, take a quick picture.
Hasta cruzar de la villita hay un estacionamiento que todo, solo normal le cobran $10 hasta medianoche. Lo que yo he visto es el más barato, el estacionamiento donde se puede estacionar para ir al Riverwalk. Y entra aquí donde es la villita.